Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hey everybody, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is your Geek Out for Tuesday, July 24th, 2012. Have you met my friend yet? T-Mobile's new Samsung Galaxy S3? Well, maybe you have, because you've been watching Geek Outs, or you've been following me across social media networks like Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and blah, blah, blah. MySpace? Am I still updating MySpace? Either way, if you want T-Mobile's new Samsung Galaxy S3, all you need to do is click to spin to win. There's the link in the video's description. Spin to win. It's a fun game. You can play and possibly win one of these things. For computer security, can Malwarebytes do the job? Again, I only assume you're following me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and everywhere, including MySpace, although I don't know why you would be following me there anymore. You probably caught the video that we uploaded yesterday talking about Malwarebytes. They just released an infographic showing just how bad the malware situation is. I talked a bit about how Malwarebytes was different from regular old antivirus software. It does more than just that. I've been very impressed with Malwarebytes, as have many of you. In fact, I found out about Malwarebytes because of people like you. When people get infected with something that's bad, malware, bad software, Malwarebytes can step up and clean the system. And Sherman tells you exactly how easy it can be done by anybody, yourself included. Unless you already have been doing it, in which case you kind of already knew. Patent wars. Enough is enough! Yes and no. I know many people are upset at Apple because they're defending their patents, but that's their legal right to defend the patents that have been established. I think the patent system has been long in need of reform. We're not there today. Apple contends that, hey, we are not the development house for the entire world. We want to create stuff, patent it, and if other people want to create things that are completely different, cool. That's all Apple's asking, and that's not really out of the realm of, reasonability. I mean, if you created something that did something a certain way, you would want to be the only one to do that one thing. Unless, of course, you wanted that idea to be out there for everybody to use, right? That's all Apple's saying. They're just defending that. And you can't fault Apple for defending that no more than you could fault anybody for defending things that they created and then they established with a patent. Doesn't mean that the patent system doesn't need to be reformed. We've obviously been over that a million times over, especially in relation to software. But just think about it. If you had created something, a process, if you had created a system that you knew would work well and you wanted to make sure no one else could use it because it would give you competitive advantage, how would you feel if someone else came along and used your system without your permission? I'm guessing you probably wouldn't feel very good about it. Microsoft's future, failed management. I, at one point in time, loved Windows, and then they shipped Windows Vista. I forgave them for Millennium Edition, but Vista was just a little too much. I'm like, 7 was awesome. I think 8 is going to be a huge boon, as long as I don't ever have to see the classic desktop on a touch screen, because that's just kind of, huh? Microsoft in the consumer space, that's an interesting story to talk about. Where are they going to go from here? There's just incredible amounts of competition that are doing well today, where Microsoft is still trying to do well and holding on to the idea that the PC is still irrelevant. And yeah, no. Amazing Alex. As amazing as it is addicting, Angry Birds was a huge hit. You can play Angry Birds on any platform. I always laugh when I see a commercial for a device. Oh, I can play Angry Birds on it, therefore it must be awesome. No, you can. Is there a platform that does not have Angry Birds on it? I mean, a modern platform that you can't play Angry Birds on. It's everywhere, right? So they followed up with Amazing Alex, and I can't say that I've seen as much traction with Amazing Alex. I guess Alex wasn't as amazing as the world had expected it would be. Angry Birds is great. It's an awesome brand, and I'm sure it will continue to flourish. But Amazing Alex, what do you think? Windows 8, do the pros outweigh the cons? Windows 8's coming down the pike, no stopping it, and that's fine. I think most of us are looking forward to what's about to be released. I think Microsoft has made some huge gambles that could potentially spell disaster. They're hedging their bets. They're releasing an operating system that's trying to be all things to all people for all platforms and all hardware and all everything. And, I seem to recall a saying that goes, along the lines, and I may be paraphrasing, is when you try to make everybody happy, nobody's happy. But will the pros outweigh those cons? as far as the average consumer is concerned? Will they accept Windows 8 with open arms, or an open hard drive or SSD or whatever they have inside of their computer? That remains to be seen. Have you made up your mind about Windows 8 yet? Apple is going to be shipping Mountain Lion tomorrow. Yay! That was kind of somewhat constrained there. I didn't want to like scream and blow out the microphone there. I've had Mountain Lion installed. I have a developer license, so I have it all legally, and I'd hope that anybody would. It was only $20 even if I had waited, and I think I would have received it for free since I picked up the Retina MacBook Pro. Been using it for some time. I will have my initial impressions, thoughts, favorite features of Mountain Lion within tomorrow's Geek Out, so stay tuned for that. I'll show you a few secrets that you may not have seen or heard about before, things that I just discovered as I was just using it, some of my favorite parts. Yes, it is definitely worth upgrading to Mountain Lion if you have a system that's running Lion, or even Snow Leopard. Apple sales miss estimates, shares fall. I don't own any stock in Apple. They just missed estimates. You know, the iPad sold well, iPhone's not as much. Maybe people are waiting for the next iPhone. Wouldn't be surprised. Then, of course, there's a lot of competition coming from the Android space as well, and that's not to be ignored. And then, of course, the rumors surrounding, is there going to be an iPad mini or an iPod? I almost call it an iTouch. I came this close, didn't call it an iTouch. There's no such thing as an iTouch. Is it going to be a bigger iPod Touch or a smaller iPad or something completely different altogether? We don't know. It's a mythical creature. It's a guess at this point. Could it happen? Yes. Could it not happen? Absolutely. We don't know. Sorry to hear that Apple, dipped just a bit. I'm sure you will, make more money still in the coming months. You're not going anywhere anytime soon. There are no cracks in the armor, at least not yet. I hate when people lose money. I don't care who you are. Microsoft, Google, Apple, it just sucks. Congress must act after U.S. government admits to unconstitutional warrantless wiretapping. Oh, yeah, you patriots. You're doing the right thing. Iranian nuclear program hacked, made to play AC/DC. Well, at least it wasn't Vanilla Ice. Amazon to pay 95% tuition for warehouse employees. Dude, if I was young and not firmly entrenched in my career, and whatever the hell my career is at this point, if I had a choice between working retail or working in an Amazon warehouse, if they were going to pay 95% of my tuition, I'd probably work in an Amazon warehouse. I have no problem saying that. Certainly would have been no better or no worse than what I had to do before I graduated from college, and then even after I graduated from college, I had to pay off the tuition. Not that the jobs helped in any way, shape, or form. Computers back then, a good computer would cost a lot of money. I mean, it still costs a lot of money, but we certainly did not have computers that cost hundreds of dollars. Everything was thousands upon thousands upon thousands. And I did spend money on computers that I should not have spent money on, but I had to fuel the addiction. That is a weird part of my screensaver. TVS Bro on YouTube says, dude, leasing a car, he says dude, for real. Leasing a car is like living in an apartment. You're giving away money. And if you don't own anything in the end, unless you pay a huge balloon payment of like $7,000 to $10,000, I guess he stopped his sentence there. Plus, God forbid you get in an accident, you have to have special coverage to protect you from having to pay the balance. Well, first of all, I'm covered on that because I have good auto insurance and I checked with them. Second of all, I never buy the car at the end of the lease. I just get a new car. I mean, it's much like a computer. I mean, yes, I have this piece of hardware, but, if I was given the option to get a new computer at the end of 3 years, I would probably do it. I'm not tied to a computer. It's just a piece of hardware to me, and a car is a piece of hardware to me. I drive it around. It has some features that I like. It saves me money on gas because it gets great mileage. I don't want to own a car. I just do not want to own a car. It's so not stressful to let go of the lease and then just re-lease a new car at this point. And plus, it's my money. And I can choose to spend it how I want to spend it, just like you are free. Wait, are you offering to pay for my car? Dude, let's talk. My email address, chris@pirillo.com. I'm down for that. I'd love to save a monthly payment. Yeah, that's right. I pay my own bills. Wooders2310 on YouTube asks, does Apple even have any apps for Android? That would be a big fat no. Jay Woo Saul says on YouTube, in a way, we are paying your bills, your adverts. I don't love or hate you. That does not mean I do not have emotions. It means that I save some of those extreme feelings for more important things, like my wife, my kids, corporations, like your sponsors. I like watching your crazy banter occasionally, and for some reason, probably instinctual, I pay attention to you because you are an Iowa boy like me. Like, yeah. Yes and no. You know, I am free to make decisions for myself, and if given $5 and I walk into a restaurant, I can choose what I want to, put in my mouth, right? So I decide how the money is allocated and where it goes. That does not mean that you're paying my bills. I'm still paying my bills. I'm deciding to pay my bills based on how I'm working. Just like you decide how to pay your bills based on how you work. Your employer wouldn't tell you what to do with the money that it gives you, assuming you're employed, and I don't know. It's a huge guess. Now, the bottom line is, you got to make decisions for yourself. I got to make decisions for myself. And sometimes we may agree on those decisions. Sometimes we may not. But, c'est la vie. That's French. 60-second on YouTube asks, "Hi Chris, I would just like to ask your opinion on the price point of Microsoft Office packages. For example, why is there a $130 price between student and business? How does a small starting business, 1 or 2 people, justify the extra cost so that they can use the applications to create profit? In case you didn't know, the student edition license does not allow you to use the applications in a commercial setting." I don't know why people are still paying for Office applications. I'm the wrong person to ask. Genuinely. Google Docs works fine. It's great for 90% of what you might need to do or what you might expect a classic Office application to do for you. Microsoft's still charging that much because people are still paying that much. People just have to realize they don't have to pay the price anymore. LockerDome.net user MyFunkyDesigns writes, "Getting my first Mac this week. What things might I experience from being a PC my entire life and switching to a Mac? What will change?" A lot. My number one tip for anybody who switches from a Mac to a PC or a PC to a Mac, either way, or even Windows to Linux or Linux to Windows, which doesn't happen all that often, but it does happen. Don't treat the operating system like something it isn't. Don't treat OS X like it's Windows. Don't treat Windows like it's Ubuntu. They're all different. Appreciate them for what they are, not for what you're trying to make them be. And once you get over that hump, and believe me, it'll be a hard hump to get over, you'll be happier. We've got a few of those ebooks for switchers, at least, people who switch from Windows to OS X, I think listed on gnometomes.com. Have for quite some time. It's been very helpful. Can't we all just get along? We'll see you later. Who wants to use a stylus? I mean, dude, are we living in 2001? A stylus? Okay, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't want to use a stylus. I'm going to say it. I don't want to use a stylus. Ever. They suck.